Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's news analysis. Today, we are going to be discussing about the altercation in the new tax law. In the year 2025, that was last year, the government of Nigeria announced that there's going to be a reform in the tax law, which will affect both the individuals and companies, and which is going to take place or which is going to start 1st of January 2026. Now, back to year 2026, which we are. The 1st of January, there was a publication about the tax law starting, but the laws itself were not published due to reasons from the constitutional bodies. The legislative bodies announced or made a complaint that the law that passed through them was not what was released out because of some altercation in the laws, and which we are going to be looking at today. The altercations, the one the legislative signed and was sent to the executive, but was not what was released out.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm here today because my privilege has been breached as a member of this all-important House, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, we passed the tax laws on this floor, and Mr. Speaker, I took my time in the last 3 days to look at the gazetted past copy, the vote and proceedings of the House of Representatives, and also went an extra mile to look at the vote and proceedings of the Senate of what was harmonized. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, what I passed on this floor is not what is gazetted. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I have all the copies, but I'm coming under privilege because I was here, I gave my vote, and it was counted, and I'm seeing something completely different. So on that note, on this privilege, I will call on Mr. Speaker to graciously look at what was harmonized, what is in the gazetted copy, what was passed in the House and the Senate. You will find out what is before Nigerians, which is being sold to Nigerians at the Ministry of Information, which I personally went to buy the gazetted copies, are not what was passed. So there is no motion here, but Mr. Speaker, I'll be pleading that all the documents should be brought before the committee of the whole. The whole members should see what is in the gazetted, should see what they passed on the floor, so that we can make the relevant amendments.
So today we are going to be looking at those altercations. Altercation 1, reduced tax compliance threshold. Individual reporting threshold lowered from 50 million to 25 million naira, and company threshold reduced from 250 to 100 million. So the tax law that was approved by the legislative body was that individual must have reached a threshold of 50 million before the tax body will go and arrest or reach out to them or take them to court for them not paying. But it was reduced by the executive body to 25 million naira. And for company threshold, it was reduced from 250 million to 100 million, widening the tax net. Now, the second altercation is mandatory 20% for tax appeal. It is stated that taxpayers must pay 20% of disputed tax before appealing tribunal decision to High Court. Now, before you can appeal that, okay, this is not what I'm supposed to pay, you have to pay 20% first, which is not supposed to be so. Then the number 3 of the altercations is expanding enforcement and arrest power. The tax authority are empowered to arrest suspected offenders via law enforcement and seize and sell their seized properties without a court order. Now, this law enables tax authorities to arrest suspects, offenders via the police or law enforcement agency. And this law gives them the power to sell seized properties without court order and pay the tax, which is not supposed to be so. We are not giving the previous law, the law that was passed through the legislative, does not give the tax enforcers authorities power to do so. Now, the fourth altercation is removal of petroleum income tax from federal taxes. So the removed petroleum income tax was removed from the definition of federal tax, and it's not supposed to be so. And it looks as if the executive were undermining the legislative powers. Now, also, the fifth altercation was the tax calculation was mandated to be in USDT for petroleum. Like if you are getting a goods in, let's say, from China or from other countries, they said they are not using other countries, they're not using other countries' currency. The currency that must be used is USDT, and which is not supposed to be so. Now, the sixth one was they remove the oversight provision, which the National Assembly gave that, okay, every quarterly, annually, you have to come, or the NRC will come and check what you are doing. Then you give reports, which look at your report and see the things you are doing. It was removed by this by the executive, and which was not supposed to be so. So this has been the issues on ground about the new tax law, and it has not been publicized yet due to what the legislative approved and what the executive released out. So stay tuned for more information about the tax law. But presently, there are still more ongoing investigation on the tax law and how to correct it. Thank you for staying with us. Follow for more. Thank you.